Top 10 easiest Caribbean islands now open to travel with relaxed COVID-19 restrictions. Now that the Caribbean is opening up for the world to come visit, and now that the pandemic starts to shift, many countries in the Caribbean have begun to reopen their borders to tourists from around the world. With the warm tropical waters of the Caribbean slowly being open to all, traveling to the region is beginning to rebound like never before. But as places do slowly open, there are still some restrictions in place due to the COVID-19 pandemic, making some places harder to get to than others. So, what are the easiest countries to visit given these current entry restrictions? Well, look no further as Jirie Caribbean has that answer for you. So stay tuned as we count down the list of the top 10 Caribbean countries down to number 1 to travel to right now with relaxed COVID restrictions. Number 10. St. Maarten, open to both vaccinated and unvaccinated travelers. For vaccinated travelers, no negative test result is required for entry for those vaccinated and those who have recovered from COVID in the past 9 months. For unvaccinated adults, just provide a negative PCR test result taken 48 hours prior to arrival or an antigen test taken 24 hours before arrival. An electronic health authorization form is required for all travelers and must be submitted within 72 hours of arrival. The St. Maarten SXM Protection Plan is mandatory for all travelers. The plan rate varies depending on the traveler's age and covers hospital costs, ICU costs, doctor consultation, COVID tests, and medical evacuation if necessary. Number 9. Barbados. Open to both vaccinated and unvaccinated travelers. Travelers are permitted to enter Barbados with a negative rapid COVID-19 PCR test or rapid antigen test done within 1 day prior to arrival in Barbados, or a negative RT-PCR COVID-19 test result done within 3 days prior to arrival. If you are fully vaccinated, you will not be subject to an additional test on arrival, and once you have completed a health check, you will be free to move around Barbados unhindered. If you are unvaccinated, however, you will need to quarantine for 3 days at an approved facility and undergo a second PCR test 4 days after arriving. Number 8. The British Virgin Islands, open to both vaccinated and unvaccinated travelers. The British Virgin Islands is another excellent option if you want to have a stress-free travel experience to the Caribbean. Fully vaccinated travelers can visit the British Virgin Islands with just proof of vaccination and a negative PCR or antigen rapid test, which is no older than 5 days. You will need COVID-19 travel insurance, which should cover you fully in the case of hospitalization, a doctor's visit, prescriptions, medical repatriation, and quarantine accommodation costs. Unvaccinated or partially vaccinated visitors still have the option of visiting the island's getaway, but will have to apply to the BVI's Gateway portal, take a COVID-19 PCR test 3 to 5 days prior to arrival, and provide proof of travel insurance. Number 7. Jamaica, open to both vaccinated and unvaccinated travelers. Jamaica's updated travel protocols and high-demand locations make it one of the best places to travel to in the Caribbean. The country is open to travelers with a negative COVID-19 test taken within 72 hours prior to your arrival on the island. You will also need an approved Jamaica Ministry of Health travel authorization, which can be completed easily online. This travel authorization and a copy of the negative PCR or rapid antigen test result must be presented to the airline representative in order to board your flight to Jamaica. That's it. You can enjoy your stay on the smooth reggae island. But if you, unfortunately, tested positive for COVID-19, the country also recently reduced the isolation period for COVID-19 positive travelers. Number 6. The Bahamas, open to both vaccinated and unvaccinated travelers. The Bahamas is an excellent option for those who want to go for a quick visit to the Caribbean. Fully vaccinated travelers, including children from the age of 12, can enter with a negative antigen test taken no more than 3 days prior to the date of arrival on the islands. If you are an unvaccinated passenger over the age of 12, you will only be allowed to enter the country with a negative PCR test taken no more than 3 days prior to arrival. All visitors traveling to the Bahamas will need to apply for a Bahamas Travel Health Visa at travel.gov.bs and opt in to the COVID-19 health insurance that covers them for the duration of their stay. The cost of the insurance is included in the visa application fee and varies based on the length of stay and your country of origin, so be sure to check it before you book your flight. Please hit the like and subscribe button, plus to get notified of our next video, smash the notification bell. Come along the journey with Jirie Caribbean and let's explore and enjoy the majesty of the Caribbean islands together. Number 5. US Virgin Islands, open to both vaccinated and unvaccinated travelers. The US Virgin Islands are similar to Puerto Rico as they welcome travelers from the US mainland. They offer quite a range of options for passengers, making it very easy to avoid a quarantine stay or invasive test. If you are traveling to the islands, you can either show a proof of vaccination, a negative PCR test, or a negative antigen test taken within 3 days of your arrival. Visitors will be asked, however, to upload their vaccination card or test results to the USVI travel portal and receive clearance before they travel to the island, so make sure you do that before you leave. Both USVI and Puerto Rico make it much easier to fly back to the US mainland, as you will not be required to get tested before flying back due to the fact that they are both US territories. Number 4. Puerto Rico, open to both vaccinated and unvaccinated travelers. The U.S. territory of Puerto Rico recently adjusted its entry restrictions to allow fully vaccinated travelers to enter without a negative test result. Amazing! Unvaccinated travelers arriving on a U.S. domestic flight, however, will still need to provide a negative test result taken within 2 days prior to their departure date, or test within 48 hours of their arrival, but must quarantine while they await their results. Unvaccinated visitors who choose not to test still have the option to visit the U.S. territory, but will be required to quarantine for a total of 7 days in approved facilities and may have to face further impositions. Number 3. The Dominican Republic, open to both vaccinated and unvaccinated travelers. Located on the island of Hispaniola with Haiti, the Dominican Republic is among the most visited countries in the Caribbean and continues to be one of the easiest to travel to. The Dominican Republic has taken a unique direction towards addressing COVID-19 among travels. It is the only country in the region where visitors do not require proof of vaccination or negative test result. Instead, airports and other ports of entry perform quick aleatory breath tests on a small percentage of passengers and those who present symptoms upon arrival. This aleatory breath test is just like a breathalyzer test, where you blow into a meter to determine your COVID-19 status, and if you pass, you are free to go. However, visitors still need to complete an electronic entry and exit form, which includes a traveler's health affidavit, customs declaration, and international embarkation/disembarkation forms. Number 2. Aruba, open to both vaccinated and unvaccinated travelers. Aruba is one of the most open Caribbean islands for tourists and has hassle-free travel requirements for most countries. Effective March 19, 2022, all travelers are no longer required to present a COVID-19 negative test result or proof of vaccination. It essentially means anyone can go. All travelers are still required to complete an online embarkation/disembarkation ED card, which is the country's digitized customs and immigration process between 72 hours and 4 hours prior to their travel arrangements to Aruba. All travelers will also need to get Aruba Visitors Insurance, which should protect you from any complications that might arise from COVID-19. Number 1. Grenada, open to both vaccinated and unvaccinated travelers. From April 4th, Grenada lifts all COVID-19 restrictions. The tri-island state of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique has announced the removal of all COVID-19 restrictions, including entry restrictions for unvaccinated travelers. All travelers, regardless of vaccination status, will no longer be required to take COVID-19 tests to enter. There will also be no further need to show proof of vaccination status or complete forms on arrival. According to Sean Charles, Chief Medical Officer for the Ministry of Health, Grenada is at a stage where we can consider the lifting of COVID-19 restrictions, even though we are aware that the pandemic is not yet over. We're delighted to be able to offer all travelers a seamless and easy travel experience, and we're looking forward to welcoming them to our beautiful islands. Masks will also no longer be mandatory while in the country. and will become an optional choice. As we finish off our list of countries with the easiest travel restrictions in the Caribbean, just remember this list may vary depending on when you have watched it. Always check the tourism website of the country you are thinking of traveling to for their most current guidelines and protect yourself as much as possible from the COVID-19 virus. But as time goes on, be sure and believe it will only get easier to travel to more and more Caribbean places of paradise. So stay tuned to Jirie Caribbean as we unveil more of these amazing destinations and the best of what the region has to offer. We would love to hear your honest thoughts and feedback on this video and our channel as we seek to grow and get better in creating better content for you. Please share your thoughts on the content of this video or suggest topics that would be of interest to you. Remember to like, subscribe, share our channel with your friends and family, and turn on the notification bell for our next video. Come check out the Jirie family at jirie.com or click the link in the description below to visit our Caribbean lifestyle and travel adventures blog. Until next time, stay Jirie.